10 mistakes you make in your workout without realizing that throw your effort in the trash. Don't worry. We won't talk about common mistakes that you're used to seeing in other videos out there, which always say that you're not executing properly, that you're skipping warm-up, or even that you're using too much weight. These are truly silent mistakes, because most people don't have enough knowledge to notice them. Relax. This is not your fault. It should be the role of a professional. But we know it's easier for the gym instructor to be helping the new student on the treadmill than to give more individualized attention to each student. But before we begin, tell me here in the comments your name and how long you've been training. Mistake number 10, overloading smaller muscles. When you overload smaller muscles, such as biceps, triceps, or shoulders, with many exercises and excessive volume, you're basically asking them to enter a state of overtraining. These muscles have a lower recovery capacity precisely because of their size and fiber composition. While a quadriceps can recover from 15 to 20 weekly sets with relative ease, the biceps can enter chronic fatigue with just 10 to 12 sets of high intensity. The problem doesn't stop there. When you give exaggerated attention to these smaller groups, you're generally neglecting the major engines of your metabolism and muscle building: back, legs, and chest. It's these muscles that raise your metabolic rate, stimulate hormone production, and create an anabolic environment throughout your entire body. Mistake number 9, not considering individual muscle architecture. You know that person who insists that 8 to 12 repetitions is the hypertrophy zone for any muscle? They're completely ignoring the fundamental differences in muscle architecture. Our muscles are mainly divided into two types of architecture: fusiform and pinnate. Fusiform muscles, such as biceps, sartorius, and rectus abdominis, have fibers that run parallel to the force axis. Pinnate muscles, such as deltoids, quadriceps, and gastrocnemius, have fibers arranged at oblique angles, like the feathers of a bird. This structural difference completely changes how these muscles respond to training. Pinnate muscles have more fibers per volume and tend to respond better to longer series, with 12 to 20 repetitions and higher total volume. Fusiform muscles achieve better stimulation with moderate to heavy loads, in the range of 6 to 12 repetitions, with greater emphasis on progressive tension. Ignoring this is like trying to fit a square piece into a round hole. You might be crushing your deltoids with heavy sets of 6 to 8 repetitions when they would respond much better to lighter sets of 15 to 20. Or doing endless repetitions of straight barbell curls when your biceps would need more weight and fewer repetitions. The solution? Customize your training based on the architecture of each muscle group. For pinnate muscles, increase volume and work with longer sets. For fusiform muscles, focus on progressive tension and challenging loads. Number 8. Ignoring Henneman's law in exercise selection. Have you ever wondered why some guys at the gym lift enormous weights and look lean, while others have impressive muscles but don't lift as much? The answer lies in Henneman's law, a neurophysiological principle that most people completely ignore. Henneman's law states that muscle fibers are recruited in ascending order of size. First the smaller, type 1, slow-twitch fibers, and only then the larger, type 2, fast-twitch fibers. The problem is that type 2 fibers, precisely those with the greatest hypertrophy potential, only come into action when necessary, either through high intensity or fatigue of the smaller fibers. When you only do exercises with similar resistance curves, you're always recruiting the same pattern of fibers. For example, if you only do leg press and leg extension, both have increasing resistance, meaning they get harder at the end of the movement. With this, certain fibers are never fully stimulated. The intelligent solution is to vary the resistance curves in your workout. Combine exercises with increasing resistance, decreasing resistance, and constant resistance, cable crossovers, and low row. A practical example would be to structure your leg workout with squats, which has variable resistance, followed by leg press, with its increasing resistance, and finishing with leg curl, which offers constant resistance. This combination ensures that all fibers in the thigh are recruited, maximizing your growth potential. Number 7, not respecting the intra-session fatigue curve. I see this all the time at the gym. The person starts with some light isolation exercises, and only at the end, when already exhausted, tries to do the big compound exercises like squats or deadlifts. The intra-session fatigue curve is a fundamental concept that determines how your energy and neural recruitment capacity decrease throughout the workout. At the beginning of the session, your nervous system is fresh, your glycogen stores are full, and you have maximum capacity for complex and heavy movements. With each set performed, this capacity progressively diminishes. Ignoring this curve is wasting your strength and growth potential. When you try to do a heavy squat after having already partially fatigued the quadriceps in other exercises, you'll not only lift less weight, but recruit fewer muscle fibers, and worse, compensate with other muscle groups or with inadequate technique. The solution is to structure your workout by order of neural complexity and energy demand. Start with heavy compound exercises, then move to isolations, and only then to cardio if necessary. For example, an ideal leg workout would start with heavy squats or leg press, continue to leg extension or leg curl, and finish with calf raises and hip abduction. Only then, if necessary, would you do 15 to 20 minutes of low-intensity cardio. This structure respects your physical and neural capacity, allowing you to give your maximum in the exercises that really matter for your growth. Additionally, it drastically reduces the risk of injuries due to fatigue, something that can take you out of training for weeks or months. Number 6. Not starting the workout with weak points. Be honest, do you start your workouts with the muscles you most enjoy training, or with those that really need attention? Most of us fall into the trap of prioritizing what is already strong, neglecting the weak points. There's a physiological principle called neural priority, which determines that muscles trained at the beginning of the session receive greater neural activation, greater blood flow, and consequently, better adaptive response. When you always leave your weak points for the end of the workout, when you're already fatigued, you're essentially programming them to remain weak. For example, if your hamstrings are underdeveloped compared to your quadriceps, starting the leg workout with leg press or leg extension will only increase this imbalance. The correct approach would be to start with a stiff-legged deadlift or leg curl, ensuring that the hamstrings receive priority stimulation. Make an honest assessment of your weak points, both aesthetic and functional, and restructure your workout to prioritize them. For 8 to 12 weeks, start your sessions directly attacking these muscles. If your posture is compromised by an imbalance between chest and back, start your upper body workouts with rows, not bench press. An important detail: weak points also include movement patterns, not just isolated muscles. If you have difficulty with the squat movement, prioritizing it when you're fresh can bring benefits that go far beyond hypertrophy. Improvement in mobility, motor pattern, and even injury prevention. Number 5. Doing intense cardio right after weight training. Intense cardio, especially HIIT protocols, performed immediately after strength training or the next day, can seriously compromise muscle protein synthesis for up to 48 hours. This happens because both strength training and intense cardio compete for the same recovery and adaptation resources. Intense cardio activates AMPK, an enzyme that essentially turns off mTOR, the main signaling pathway for protein synthesis and muscle growth. In simple terms, you're sending contradictory signals to your body. Grow with strength training and save energy with intense cardio. The solution is not to abandon cardio, which has unquestionable benefits for cardiovascular health and body composition, but to structure it intelligently. The ideal is to separate intense cardio sessions and strength training by at least 6 hours, preferably performing them at opposite times of the day or on alternate days. If you need to do cardio on the same day as strength training, opt for low-intensity modalities after the workout, such as incline walking or light cycling for 20 to 30 minutes. These activities promote active recovery without significantly compromising protein synthesis. An even more efficient strategy is concurrent periodization. Phases focused on hypertrophy with minimal cardio only for cardiovascular health, alternated with definition phases where cardio can be gradually increased. This approach allows complete adaptations in each phase without contradictory signals. Number 4. Doing repetitions too quickly without controlling the eccentric phase. Haste is the enemy of hypertrophy. When you lower the weight quickly without control, you're ignoring about 40% of the exercise's hypertrophic potential. The eccentric phase, when the muscle lengthens under tension, causes specific micro-tears in the muscle fibers that are fundamental to the hypertrophy process. Additionally, the mechanical stimulus during the eccentric phase activates unique signaling pathways that are not completely activated during the concentric phase. Studies show that time under tension, especially in the eccentric phase, is a determining factor for maximizing post-workout protein synthesis. When you let the weight drop, you're literally throwing away potential gains. An important detail: don't confuse control with slow movement. Controlling means maintaining constant and conscious tension, not necessarily doing everything in slow motion. The key is to never turn off the muscle during the movement, keeping it under constant tension, especially at points of greatest stretch. Try incorporating techniques such as emphasized eccentric tempo in one exercise per muscle group. For example, in the last set of bench press, do the eccentric phase in 4 seconds. You'll probably need to reduce the weight, but the stimulus for hypertrophy will be significantly greater. Your body will respond with gains that previously seemed impossible. Number 3, ignoring mobility training. Mobility is for yoga people. I just want to grow. This thought is more common than you might imagine. Mobility is not just the ability to make stretched movements or exotic positions. In the context of strength training, adequate mobility means the ability to access complete ranges of motion with control and without compensations. And this is absolutely fundamental to stimulate maximum muscle growth. When you have mobility limitations, several problems occur silently. First, you can't fully activate certain muscles in their optimal ranges. For example, shoulders with limited mobility prevent complete pectoral activation in the bench press. Second, you compensate with other muscles, overloading them and understimulating the main targets. Third, you drastically increase the risk of injuries. A study from the University of São Paulo showed that just 10 minutes of specific mobility work before strength training increased muscle activation by 23% compared to the same training without prior mobility. This potentially represents 23% more results for the same effort. The solution is to integrate specific mobility work for the joints that will be required in your workout of the day. We're not talking about endless static stretches, but rather dynamic and functional mobility. Before chest training, for example, 3 to 4 minutes of shoulder openings and scapular rotations. Before legs, hip, and ankle mobility. Additionally, set aside 2 to 3 weekly sessions of 15 to 20 minutes exclusively for mobility work, focused on your most limited points. This will not only enhance your gains, but will significantly prolong your useful life in weight training, allowing you to train hard for many years without incapacitating injuries. Number 2, insufficient hydration during workout. Hydration is not just a matter of comfort during training. It's a determining factor for performance and hypertrophy. Studies show that water losses of just 2% of body weight already cause a drop of 10 to 20% in maximum strength and muscle endurance. The physiological explanation is simple. Your blood becomes more viscous with dehydration, making it difficult to transport nutrients and oxygen to the working muscles. Additionally, dehydration reduces the efficiency of the thermoregulation system, causing your body to divert blood from the muscles to the skin in an attempt to dissipate heat. The problem is that thirst is not a reliable indicator of hydration during exercise. When you feel thirsty, you're already significantly dehydrated. Moreover, the air-conditioned environment of gyms masks the loss of fluids through sweat, which can reach 1 to 2 liters per hour in intense workouts. The solution is to establish a systematic hydration protocol. Start by hydrating properly in the 2 hours preceding the workout. During the workout, consume 200 to 300 milliliters every 15 to 20 minutes, regardless of the sensation of thirst. An important detail: for workouts that exceed 60 minutes of high intensity, adding small amounts of electrolytes and carbohydrates to water can significantly improve water absorption and performance. Try monitoring your weight before and after the workout to get a precise idea of your individual sweat rate. Mistake 1: repeating the same workouts infinitely. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, or don't change a winning team. This type of thinking can definitely be useful for many things in life, but when it comes to training for hypertrophy, it's the shortest path to stagnation. Your body is an incredibly efficient adaptation machine. When repeatedly exposed to the same stimulus, same training, same exercises, same loads, it quickly adapts to make that stimulus less stressful. In practical terms, this means that your body stops responding with gains after a certain time repeating the same workout. This phenomenon, known as the principle of specific adaptation to imposed demands, is perhaps the biggest silent saboteur of long-term results. The famous motor learning curve shows that after 8 to 12 weeks on the same protocol, neural efficiency increases so much that the stimulus for hypertrophy decreases drastically, even if the workout still seems challenging. The solution is not to completely change your workout every week. This would prevent progressive adaptations, but to implement strategic and periodic changes. An efficient approach is to modify specific variables every 3 to 5 weeks, while keeping others constant. For example, in the first 4 weeks, focus on moderate volume and increasing loads. 4 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions, gradually increasing the weight. In the next 4 weeks, increase the volume and slightly reduce the load. 5 sets of 12 to 15 repetitions. In the following 4 weeks, reduce the volume and maximize intensity. 3 sets of 6 to 8 repetitions with intensification techniques. Besides the variables of volume and intensity, periodically alternate the specific exercises, maintaining the basic movement patterns. If you do flat bench press with a barbell, switch to incline bench press with dumbbells. If you do free squats, try hack squats. These variations target the same muscle groups, but with different angles and stabilization requirements, renewing the stimulus. Your body doesn't respond to what you do occasionally, but to what you do consistently. The key is to find the balance between consistency and variability. This balance is what separates those who continue to progress year after year from those who get stuck in endless plateaus. Finally, I would like to remind you that bodybuilding is both a science and an art. Use this information as a guide, but learn to listen to your own body. Small adjustments, applied consistently over time, produce exponentially greater results than big changes made sporadically. If you liked this, and also want to discover silent mistakes that most men make in chest training that prevents them from properly building this muscle so important in the male physique, we've left a video showing each of them appearing right now on the screen. Don't miss it. Thank you for watching this far, and God bless you, my friend.